Yay.
Good evening, folks. As I slam stuff into my desk. Hello! Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're enjoying your weekend thus far. What's stuff going on?
Javening.
Javening. Where'd my stuff go? There. Thank you so much, Gustavus II, I suppose, for the follow. Oh, ooh, what is that? That's an interesting overloaded keybind or something. Okay. And I now, hold on. I lost some of my events here. I need to, thank you, Sarge Pfizer. Thank you for the half a year. Appreciate that. Thank you, Rhythm We Hear, for the brand new sub. Welcome in. And thank you, Octogen, for almost a stack of subbage month. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate that. Alright, so let me quick fire answer a bunch of questions. yes, it's my own mod. No, I can't use replay mod or flashback or something like that. They don't exist for snapshots. And even if they did, I need them to exist like minutes after a snapshot release, like not months. So it's my own mod. We use it specifically to be able to add very useful commands to demo whatever. But mostly we use it to be able to like create camera movement and synchronized events to them so that we can repeatedly do setups. Now I'm just in a single player world here, which I believe I used to demo some single player specific teleport problem with one of the pre-releases. But yeah, that's how I get like side by side exactly the player doing exactly the same thing in two different versions of the game, and then recorded from exactly the same camera angle and everything. Porting the mod every week must be a bit painful. Do you get any help with that? It's me and the Black Squirrels working on the mod code. And generally, it's not that painful, actually. It's the most common result, I would say, of a snapshot is the mod just works. The second most common result is like, it doesn't, but upgrading is kind of trivial. And then once in a while, it's a massive pain. But let me show you some of the state of things here. If I can find my windows. Where the heck is that? Oh, there. All right, so this is the board. This is our snapshot board. This is how we coordinate. Every single note here is a video clip. All of these notes are video clips that have been in snapshot videos. He's not a normal modder. He has access to the source code. Well, I can't use the source code. The point is, anything I do with this channel has to be completely 100% separate from my work. Oof. Anyway, this is a little box for the full video. And here's my tracker for the progress with a little helpful legend up here. So, as you can see, the intro is done via edit, but it has nothing. Like, it has only the VO. At this point, Copper Golems is the only section I've done. Took me... I started tracking time, actually, for this one, because I'm kind of curious to what it will take. So, the initial VO editing, draft editing, for intro and Copper Golems took me about an hour. So that's kind of the time scale. I think I've spent about 4 hours on this video this far, and there's so little of it. Like, the rest only has script. Well, it has more. It has script and it has recorded script. Boop. Thank you, Oxygen. Booping the hype train up to level 2. So basically, the process here is I've started with going through all of my own snapshot videos, taking fragments of script, and noting down where things came from. Let's see if I can read this thing. Yeah, I mean, that almost worked. It's misaligned like crazy. Did this? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, that works actually. So this is the whole script for the video. Where you can see I've split it into sections. There are some markers here for where stuff came from, or where I have footage, or where I have the prior recording to this. There's also, now like the Copper Golem section is mostly cleared out, but there's stuff like this retake, where the retake is a marker that I've had to re-record some VO because either something was wrong, or it doesn't fit anymore, or something has changed through the snapshots. And obviously now I want to show the final state of the thing. And then one more thing is, if you go back here, all of this stuff, you can see all the recaptures from versions is stuff that for some reason we have a setup on in an old snapshot world, which we recorded for that video, but that needs re-recording. So all of the shelf stuff is in here because the shelf item placement looks different now. So if I just took the clips I have, they'd all look weird. They won't match. And so that's all of that. There was a bug in the first snapshot where if you went to the nether and then you went back. What's that? Okay, hold on. I'm getting a hold on this. Just okay, I will deal with this later. I was saying, oh yes, there was a bug if you went to the nether and back, the nether ambience would remain. And one of the features of the mod is like record a whole bunch of clips at once. And so I did that, and it did a nether clip and then back into the overworld, which means a bunch of the copper golem clips have like nether ambience in the background. So I need to re-record all of them because it's really weird. And then, yeah, there are a couple that we need to make new setups for. And, like, some that we have to update and whatnot. But mostly, we'll find out much more of these things. But we need to go through all of these and just make a first draft. So that's going to be, most of today is going to be actually just editing. There's an exclamation mark job command that will answer that question. Impressive project management going on. I mean, so I've spent significant effort into optimizing this workflow because I've been doing this for such a long time. And it has gotten progressively better, but also progressively the video quality has increased. So we make a lot more complex videos now than I did before. Thank you, mods. So anyway. Yeah, well, we're gonna listen to Enderman all the time here. I might want to. Do I want to do this?
Boop
yeah,
2.
Sure. Thank you for another boop. Thank you, Rhythm here. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 200 bits. Twice as a boopy. Alright, so anyway. Now, you are now responsible for reminding me to up my hostile mobs volume if we need to actually record something. Alright, so we are going to start here. Copper equipment. And thank you, folks, for the level 2 hype train. Appreciate that. So this basically is just a bunch of material from prior snapshot videos. So it starts with something. Actually, it's supposed to look like this, I think. So it starts with a bunch of stuff that's basically the copy of the snapshot.
Will do, sir.
Wow. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. Ovilas, is that how you say that? Thank you so much. Yeah, like if you look at this is all the copper golem stuff, and then this fits well within one page. So hopefully this is faster than the previous stuff was. So this is the current state of the project. No, it's not, because you're not seeing that screen. What's that text editor? That was Visual Studio Code. Superimposed on the stream. Alright, so the way this works is I make the videos in sections. So you can see this is an intro, section that is a separate little chunk. And then this is a copper golem section that is a separate, very long chunk. And then I have all the VO in its own channel. So I have the VO in here for reference, but I render it outside. Or I mute it when I render. And the reason for that is that makes me able to use the final big project for audio balancing. But one thing I found out before, I don't know if the recent versions of Vegas are better here, but the amount of just video material that goes into the full video is so much that it lags like any video editor. So in order to even be able to work with this reasonably at the end of the process when I've done most of the clips and stuff, it's so much better to have them in small sections. So here is a copper equipment file. We can remove that, and this is blank because I haven't started it yet. So that is now what we're gonna do, which means I'm going to look at this. Here's how Visual Studio Code looks when it's not superimposed on the stream, by the way. So this is what I'm seeing. And this is how it looks on stream. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to 25W31A to open that video. And we're basically just going to copy the entire copper equipment section from that. .31A. Of course, I don't have that in history. There are too many snapshot videos in one series for them to all fit within the recent history of Vegas, and so I always like end up not having them in history when I need them. So copper tools and armor. Let's copper equipment. I'm gonna start by just copying the entire thing here, and that's our starting point. Boom. This is going to go out over the Discord line. That should be okay. Okay, you should... Well, let's double check that. Yeah. This should be fine. So now I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that... Oh my god, the text size became horrible on my other monitor. Okay. I'm going to pull that over so I can like compare the text with the actual VO. That was so much even the stream lagged for a couple of seconds. It's possible. This version also makes copper an equipment tier with copper armor, tools and weapons crafted using... That's an incredibly small history then. I mean, it's like 6 video files, but there are more than 6 snapshots in one series. This version also makes copper an equipment tier with copper armor, tools and weapons crafted using copper ingots according to the same patterns as for other tiers. Copper armor has a damage reduction between leather and chainmail. It has higher durability than leather and gold and is slightly less enchantable than iron, meaning that it will get slightly worse enchants at the same input levels. Copper tools mine the same materials as stone tools but work... Okay, and in between here, there's supposed to be another clip.
Mine the same materials as...
What the heck was that keybind? Okay, I've pressed something interesting. I'm sure that's useful somehow. But in between here, I'm supposed to have a clip from 36A, which is showcasing the copper and copper armor trim. So we go to 36A. Do I have that in the history? I do. It's the final little piece. Is that the next hit? It's like Smurf lime. It's just the thing. And I probably want the video clip and the voice, but not the comparison side by side. So I think we paste that there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that and then pull the original video file in so I get the full width. Hi, Tim. Probably this. We don't want a big space there. And at the same input levels. And there is now a darker armor trim color for copper on copper trims, just like for other armor materials. How does that sound? Slightly worse enchants at the same input levels. And there is now a darker armor trim color for copper on copper trims, just like for other armor. And a slightly different energy in those two recordings, but whatever, I think it's okay. Come on, Vegas. There we go. For other armor materials. Copper tools mine the same materials as stone tools, but work faster than stone and have higher durability of 190 compared to 131 for stone. They have a higher enchantability than diamond, but lower than iron. Copper tools and weapons do the same amount of damage as stone ones. Oh slash. Thank you so much, Vid. Thank you for 20 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hopping in to say goodnight to everybody. Have a good night. It's 2:47 a.m. for you. Wow. Yeah, okay. And then somebody in Brazil is like daytime. Yeah. Here it is approaching 9 p.m. But lower than iron. Copper tools and weapons do the same, but lower than iron. Copper tools and weapons do the same amount of damage as stone ones with the same attack speed. There are now also copper nuggets that can be crafted from and into copper ingots. And smelting copper tools and armor gives a copper nugget. Repairing copper tools and armor is done with copper ingots. And finally, there is now also copper horse armor that generates wherever iron horse armor generates and has a toughness of 4. And lastly, in copper news, and this is I have somewhere else. Or might not even be here. It's not belonging to this. One thing I'm considering, which I didn't include here, is something about mobs can spawn with copper armor. Maybe I should have included that. Go back here. Oh boy. Okay. That's gotten messed up. Now it got more messed up. Why are you... What? Okay. What is going on? Okay. I mean, sure. Alright, we'll do that. That's fine. Sure.
Yay.
Could previously spawn with leather armor. I think that's quite it's quite equivalent. Making a build with mostly copper to honor the copper age. Nice. I had a whole lot of like copper in my guardian farm build. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we need to record this. Which might be interesting given that I'm also now... The microphone input is also going into OBS. But hopefully that's okay. That's being recorded to the right folder. Is there a way to restore Copper Gold's health? Splash potion of healing or regen? Alright. Well, VO meter's looking good. The problem with this is usually what I do when I record stuff is I blast music really loudly, which is a weird thing to say, but it having loud music in your ears makes you not like speak really low. Of course, at that point, the music stops and goes really low. Yeah. We're just gonna blast music for a bit. It'll be quick. Mobs can now also... Wait, what did I write? Yeah, okay. Mobs can now also spawn with copper armor, just like they could previously spawn with leather armor. Okay, interestingly, this looks slightly lower than normally, so maybe that still wasn't entirely successful, but we'll see. I hope volume of music is back to its normal self for you. I also don't know if that's being like compressed or something to the point where it didn't make much of a difference. So we're gonna run one of my like I have like a effect chain set up from before where it's like it runs a number of effects on this to clean up the input audio, get the volume level normalized and all that kind of stuff. What did I want to do? Oh yes, I wanted to turn the recording thing off. And then we go pull this here. Iron Horse armor generates and has a toughness of 4. Mobs can now also spawn with copper armor, just like they could previously spawn with leather armor. So, where did we have footage about that? Because I know we had some kind of footage about it. Okay, this thing probably from 37A. It's called gameplay-mob equipment. What software do you use? For what? There's a ton of software involved here. You need to be more specific.
Yay.
I use Sony... No, I don't. I use Magix Vegas. It was called Sony Vegas a long time ago. What did I say? Mob equipment. It's this thing. Yeah. Great. For the YouTube. I mean, it's still a whole lot of software. So I edit in Magix Vegas, generally. I make effects and like title cards and stuff like that in Adobe After Effects. I use OBS to stream. I record Minecraft with my custom mod that does a whole lot of stuff, automates things. This is Firefox with a website called Miro, which is like an online whiteboard software that we use for coordination and planning and assignments and all kinds of stuff. I just used Audacity there to clean up the VO. And has a toughness of 4. Mobs can now also spawn with copper armor, just like they could previously spawn with leather armor. Okay, so I think this is actually done. Like, there is nothing I need to do on this particular section. So, we can actually say that this piece is green. Until I, figure out why that's not the case. But, so what I need to do now is I need to mute the VO. We need to render this, which hopefully works fine, even though I have a bunch of processing power going to the stream. Ooh, that is That is a lot more laggy than it normally is. We'll see. Hopefully this is fine. Oh god. Please. Just interacting with my computer is interesting right now. Arzok, thank you for the follow. And thank you, Rhythm We Hear for the follow. Did you just like sub before you followed? That's very interesting. I thought I was following. Oh, flex. Okay, so that's the render done. Now we're gonna go back. So I have 2 sessions of Vegas running in parallel. One I'm sourcing from, like this, where we copied the things from, and the other is the thing I'm editing on. Now I'm gonna switch this to instead be the final video. Been following a YouTube for a year. Sub, yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. So now we're going to, where did I go? Take the new rendered thing, stuff that in here. Now it looks like this. Yeah, that looks okay. But this now doesn't have VO, so we need to get all that VO out from this one into the other one. So what I'm going to do is pull that to the center, or to the start. So now I know I moved that by 37 frames to make it aligned to the start point of this. I'm going to paste that in this one, and then I'm going to try to zoom into the right place, and then we're going to move this back by the same 37 frames. And now we have the whole thing. So that's done. All right, which means this one is done, and we can delete everything. Remove that. Save it as a new name, which is going to be copper blocks. And then have another little look at what we're doing. Except script doesn't show up. Okay, there we go. Why are you doing this? Depending on which monitor I have it on, it just shows up really differently. It's really weird. Okay, so copper block starts with content from 32A for a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's this little lightning rod thing from 31A. Okay, so this, and then there's some stuff that I've cut out of this. We're gonna have to add it a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so back here, I get rid. I should have just minimized that, but whatever. Get the voice thing back. We're gonna go to the other window. Go to 32A. Excuse the like end flash noise in the background. So what did I have? I have this under blocks and items. That's no good. Did we didn't make like a copper decoration. We should make like a copper blocks thing, I think. We're gonna make a copper blocks title card. I'm gonna put that in a frame, which is gonna be called B-roll. B-roll, if you don't recognize, why is this blue? It is black. It's weirdly selected. Okay. B-roll, for those of you who don't know that term, is a term for kind of background video stuff. It's normally used when you talk about a video that has a bunch of people talking and acting in it, and then you just have voice lines over other video. So like, you know, a couple of people driving a car or something, and you see them talking, and then you just hear them talking while you're watching the environment fly by. That's B-roll. And so we call everything that is kind of not really subject matter B-roll, because it is kind of a different type of clip. Anyway, I should still take this stuff. Start with the new blocks. A copper version of the torch has been added. It works. Is that? Yeah, it starts with a copper version of the torch. Alright, so I guess I'll take that. Okay, we'll just copy like all of this. I don't need the shelves. I don't need the copper golem stuff. There maybe, and then we'll just edit it in the other one. Where's C roll and A roll? But I mean, A roll is essentially the primary thing then, right? It's whatever your talking head, like direct recording of the thing subject matter is. So now we have a problem, and the problem is I'm gonna have to do this, which is move all of this stuff in, and now it's underneath the title card. Even if I want a different title card here, that means you're not going to see the torch. So I guess I will make this title card shorter. Which I don't really like to do for the main videos, but I don't think I have an option here. Oh, and these all need to be re-recorded too. Ooh, actually, hold up. Did I have something in the previous video that needs to be re-recorded? I think I did. All right, hold up. We're going back. This might not be green, actually. Crafting, that is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Weapons fine. Nuggets fine. Melting is fine. Okay, it's fine. Horse armor. No, we're good actually. This is fine. It is actually green. Alright. A copper version of the torch has been added. It works just like the regular torch with the same light level, but has a green flame texture and particles. It is crafted like a regular torch, but with a copper nugget on top. There's also a copper lantern. It is crafted with a copper torch surrounded by copper nuggets, and much like the torch, this one has the same light level as a regular lantern, but a green flame texture. Copper lanterns also oxidize over time like other copper blocks and can be waxed and scraped as well. The chain block is now called iron. These, I think what I'm doing is removing that. And that's kind of just switching this back to being the whole video. Oh, and that needs to be re-recorded because it just says chain. Chain name. Where does this come from? 32A? Put that up here. Yes. So all of these are here for re-recording because the texture of all the lanterns and stuff changed. This is now missing its sound because I was using the sound from the other clip in the original snapshot video. So that should do it. And what I've done before actually is like this. Just highlight the ones that should be that need to be re-recorded. Now that's, guess that goes for all of these. IRL gold be too soft to make good bars. I mean, it would also be too soft to make good armor or an axe. On the other hand, real life gold bars is a thing called iron chain, although the block still has. This thing is, I think, what I cut, called iron chain. Yeah, that's cut because I was harping on about the fact that it was not renamed. The block ID wasn't renamed, but it is now, so you don't have to care about that. Iron chain. This is... please excuse me, like, kind of ignoring past Lime talking about stuff. I'm so used to just like turning through editing that I don't consider what you're hearing, which is me but then also other me. The chain block is now called iron chain. This is to distinguish from a... Too much of a gap. Block is now called iron chain. This is... And this is now misaligned. Chain block is now called iron chain. This is to distinguish from a new type of chain, the copper chain. Like you might expect, this is crafted from copper nuggets and a copper ingot. When crafting hanging signs, you can now use either type. That is no longer true, and I believe I cut it from the script. Yes. Other copper blocks, copper chain... Oh, this is going away. This might be a problem. The copper ingot. Like other copper blocks, copper chain oxidizes over time and can be waxed and scraped. And finally, iron bar. And finally, iron bars now have a new counterpart in copper bars, crafted using 6 copper ingots. They work just copper ingots. They work just like iron bars, and this should probably be re-recorded because there's that like gray pixel that makes these look really weird. And that's been fixed. So this is called just copper bars. And I don't believe that I put this up here. So 32A. Flag. Yeah, this certainly is feeling the fact that we are streaming this. Copper. Copper bars. Copper bars crafting. Do we care about that one? Might not care about that one. Copper bars oxide. I think we need these two. On the other hand, if we were doing that, we might as well re-record that one too. Okay, you know what? I'm not so certain that I got that selection right. So we'll do this. From 32A. Copy all of those cards. I don't need all of this stuff now. We'll remove it to clean it up a little bit. So that should be good, which means this is the crafting one. We'll move this up here too, and then this one. Yeah, so all these need to be re-recorded. This is like weirdly off. This is a problem sometimes when we like make a clip for a snapshot video, but then in the full video we need longer clips. And then what happens is you don't have more video material, so we need to move, shift stuff around. Oxidize and can be waxed and scraped. The Minecraft experts among you might now be objecting that the 6 copper ingots crafting recipe is the one for a copper trapdoor. And you'd be right. That crafting recipe has been changed. This has a retake. So that would be in my first retake, which is all of this stuff. If the copper golem statue, once it has a stack of it in within that same area and go to in order to put the item in that. If it doesn't find any item by another copper golem, or a lot of copper golem retakes. Like villagers, copper blocks enabled controls whether that crafting recipe has been changed to 4 copper ingots. There we go. The original recording doesn't have the information that it's not only changed on the input side, it's also changed on the output side, which means you're now getting less. Which one is this? Doesn't look right. Here? The that Minecraft X. No. Okay. Here. And that craft. What? Here. That crafting recipe has been changed. So you can kind of hear how consistent I am in the delivery of the line. They're quite spot on. Which means we now move all this stuff out so we can fit this little extra piece. Move that there. And now I don't have enough material. There we go. Okay. I think in this case, though, we don't really care. We kind of want to just stop here. So what I can do is go here, freeze frame at cursor. And now it'll be fine. This, however, needs to be... I need a new side-by-side of the proper versions. That is 1.21.8 on the left side. And do not mess that up. 1.21.9 on the right side. And to not have to redo that everywhere all the time, I'm going to save that as an image, which is called version side-by-side. Stuff that in here. Cool. And then we can replace the current version side-by-side with that one. Yeah, Jim. There are a number of these kind of streams that are archives from. So if you're very curious, then on previous ones there's a playlist on the channel. Alright, so now that says it's the correct comparison between versions. And this is the end result. And you'd be right. That crafting recipe has been changed to 4 copper ingots in a 2x2 pattern in this version, which now gives you 1 trapdoor rather than 2. Copper golem statues have been updated in this version. No. Okay, so the remaining thing is that little section of lightning rod stuff from 31A, so we'll need to go and grab that. And you'd be right. Now I'm assuming that me imitating past me is going to confuse you all even more. I'm so sorry. This probably goes like this. Oh, maybe it doesn't. I need a little bit of space. A trapdoor rather than 2. And lastly, in copper news, lightning rods now oxidize like other... Oh, I've cut this piece. And lastly in what? And lastly in copper news, so I cut that section, I think, because I was expecting it to not be in a copper related section anymore, but now it kind of is. And then we move on to other stuff. So it's actually really, this is actually really appropriate here. And lastly in copper news, let's put that back. And lastly, in copper news. Okay. You won a trapdoor rather than 2. And lastly, in copper news, lightning rods now oxidize like other copper blocks and can also be waxed and scraped. Okay, that works. So, that means we now have a version of this that's like complete, right? But it's all these things that need to be recaptured, and we need a new title card. So, I'm going to render this, but it's not done. So basically what that means is we're going here and we're marking this as edit started rather than edit done. And we're rendering. We are coming up on our first ad break over on Twitch, folks. It's going to be in like 2 minutes. And I do not want to just stop doing stuff here because there's enough work here to just keep going and I don't want to get sidetracked. So if you don't want to have the ads, you can sub to the channel. I guess you gets rid of all the ads here. Or you can get Twitch Turbo, which gets rid of all ads globally across Twitch. I don't really have a say in whether we play ads or not. I would rather not. But this is the only thing I can do. I can provide you ad-free stuff if you sub. Otherwise, you'll miss a little section of there. It's also fun to see how the video process has evolved over time. Yeah. Yeah, I think the first... Oh, actually, I think the very first behind-the-scenes stream of making this video, I made just before I started working at Mojang. Because I was already making these videos before I started working for Mojang. And I anticipated that people would be like, "Oh, you're like only doing this, you're using internal stuff, whatever," which people are a lot. So I made that behind the scenes stream to show people how I did it before I started working there, to not, you know, kind of get rid of those accusations. It obviously failed, but at least it's there. And to answer somebody's question, like how long have I been working for Mojang? It's about 8 years, 8.5 or something. Copper blocks, I guess we call that. And then put this in here. You predicted yourself. I mean, I predicted people reaction to myself. Obviously, I knew that I would start working for Mojang before I actually started working for Mojang. What was that? That was 22 frames. Look at that. Hi, Codfox. Oh, we're making progress here. A copper version of the torch has been added. Oh, that is so short. Okay. This title card is now like doesn't exist. I think it might have already been shortened when I shortened it more. That's 2 seconds now. Okay, that's not good. Just like the regular torch with the same... Okay, we are gonna have to steal some of this back. I'd like to get another second in here. We might... Well, let's compress this a bit. And then move this over here. And steal one more second here. Good enough. A copper version of the torch has been added. It works just like the regular torch with the same light level, but has... Yeah, that works. Okay. I don't think I need to bother re-rendering this, because we're gonna re-render it anyway when we have re-recorded all the clips and replaced them. So this is fine for now. We have kind of a first draft that is reasonably complete. There's no missing. Like the copper golem section has a couple of clips that are just all that completely missing. All right, shelves. This might be fun. I think that might be a longer section again. Let's go here and let's nuke everything. Ooh, we might need to re-record the shelves title card. Let's move this back here. Let's go back here for a little moment to make that a little nicer. Shelves. 31A needs retake. So I have... Oh, the needs retake here I think is for the video files, not for the video. That's just all straight out of 31A. Good. That should be easy enough. Shelves of the shelves. Nice. Hi, Retro. I'm doing good, thanks. Although I was a little bit stressed getting to the stream. I spent a bunch of time on this in the morning, then a bunch of other time across the afternoon. And then we had like dinner and we're gonna go to the gym, me and Kiddo. And then we both had stomach issues and it got quite late. And then I finished at the gym less than an hour before the stream, and then I really needed to like keep having some dinner and stuff. It was all kinds. That's why we were a little bit late starting here. I wonder how you come up with the stuff you say at the end of videos when asking to like and subscribe. It's just creative writing. I try to reference something that's in the video, but sometimes it's just, you know, it's just stuff. Streams after gym must be tiring. I mean, not necessarily. And if I've done like a super hard workout, then yeah, I might be a little bit out. But yeah, this absolutely needs re-recording. Let's go find that. That would have been from here. B-roll section. And that goes in here. Get rid of this. Otherwise, I feel like I can feel quite energized if I've done like a workout and then just had a little bit of time to like shower and get back into it. Sometimes can be quite stressful, yes. People can finally display their rotten flesh collection. Yes. I mean, it can also power the shelves so they can easily swap all their hotbars to rotten flesh, which is great, I suppose. I think all of these need to be re-recorded because, well, maybe not this actually in particular. That doesn't show any items. This does. And so that will have changed. That will have changed. What is this? Recipe and shelf showcase. I think I've put all of them here, actually. Recipe. Showcase. Those two. Nice. Two less to go through later. Fewer, I suppose. That's definitely... that's another copy of Shelf Showcase? I don't know. That's not what I meant to do. Let's put it down here. This for certain needs to be recorded. So does this, so does this. So does this. Value to... Yeah, so does this. And so does this. Okay. Yeah, hotbar organization thing is quite nice. I like, in particular, the ability to basically have an oh god, I died, give me a set of equipment so I can go get my stuff station. Okay, is that all? Showcase their friends' loot they stole when they died. Oh, that's another angle on the same problem, I suppose. I don't have any markers in this at all, so that would mean probably it's all exactly the same. Let's move on to the shelf. The shelf is a new type of decorative storage block for up to 3 items that can be crafted from all wood types using 6 stripped logs, which gives 6 shelves. Each shelf block can store up to 3 item stacks, which are placed by interacting with that slot, much like with a chiseled bookshelf. This swaps the item in your hand with the item in the shelf. Much like an item frame, shelves display the items they hold, but the shelf holds an entire item stack rather than only a single item in each slot. You can also power a shelf with redstone, which changes its texture and function. Interacting with the powered shelf swaps the 3 rightmost items on your hotbar with those in the shelf. 2 powered shelves can also be connected, and interacting with one of them then replaces the rightmost 6 items with those in the shelves. And 3 connected powered shelves will swap the entire hotbar. When interacting with powered shelves, it does not matter which hotbar slot is selected or which of the connected shelves is interacted with. You can also place items into a shelf with a hopper or dropper, which places items in from left to right. And the hoppers can also take items out in the same order. They also provide a signal value to comparators placed at the back. The strength of the signal is a binary number based on the filling state of the slot, with the left slot being the least significant bit and the right slot being the most significant bit. That is to say, an item in the left slot is worth 1, an item in the middle slot is worth 2, an item in the right slot is worth 4, and the signal strength is all those values added up. The right tool to mine a shelf is an axe, and doing so drops any contained items. Okay, yeah, so that's actually done from the point of like the video. It just needs all the clips re-recorded. So we're going to render that. That is going to probably lag the stream again. I am sorry. A flat bowl? I mean, the name for that would be a plate. Worst things that happen when I do this is when I forget to like rename a file and save, like when I like blank out a section and start from the next one. Sometimes I've had to like go back so far and like undo history in Vegas just because I've done that. From a technical perspective, which has been the most significant drop for you. What do you mean from a technical perspective? Like pack making and stuff? Thing is, I don't think I can answer that because I don't kind of commit to memory which tech stuff goes into which block or which drop. We're kind of just working towards new things and then they ship when they're ready. So they're not really tied to drops most often. Like sometimes there's something relevant. Okay, so we do this again. That's 33 frames. Oh, how is this aligned? Let's actually align that. Give me all of them. Give me all of them, please. There. And then we go here. No, I don't want to save that. Elves, I'm going to also add a marker there so we can use those for... I use the markers later on for generating the timestamps for the chapters in the YouTube video. 33, I think I said. Be there. Okay. Yeah, so that is now also blue. Oh, different blue. Spawn chunks. The whole thing is outside of the screen, so I don't know if I typed it correctly. I did. Okay. Let's... Oh god, what did I do? Clicked something weird in OBS. Alright. Ooh, I have the end in here and I've not put that card on. Oops. I've completely missed a card here. Oops. So, end's supposed to be here. The end. Move all of these over. With a new card here, I can line it up. This, well, I mean, yes, it is script written. That's fine. Nice retro. I've heard them so much. I don't know if I could count anything. There are a couple. Mostly, I would say some of the songs that I use the instrumental versions of have really nice vocal versions. And so some of them are just real bangers. Alright. Let's let's start by going here and saving this, and then we go back here and we save that, and then we restart on the end. With just nothing. Big giant circles, yeah. I think the first thing as I heard from Big Giant Circles that made me like properly fall in love was the There Came an Echo soundtrack, which is like quite different than much of his other materials. With some really haunting, beautiful stuff in there. And then the whole Zircon pack, I think I started listening to the, what's it called, Bazaar or something? The whole album is pretty good. And then, in particular, there's one song called No Regret, I think. And the lyrics version of that is amazing. I used at least a blend of them in some Hotbar Survival, where I could actually use the lyrics version because there was a time lapse. No, that was in Triple H, actually. And then, like, one of the songs I used for my hiking videos on Lime Outdoors is called In Bloom by Victor Lundberg, I think. Which is also, like, the vocalized version is beautiful. Too hype for a stream, I guess. I mean, all the tiasu stuff I have is also too hype for a stream, maybe. Do I have happiness? I mean, I don't think I have that in the playlist, and I don't know why. But yeah, I've picked like stuff out, either because I didn't think it would fit or because there wasn't an instrumental or something. Anyway, let's get back into this thing. And the next thing was The End, which comes from 33A and 34A, and then there's a cut in there. We start with 33A. Means I need to go here. I do have that in there. Deep philosophy. Do I have happiness? Isn't that the thing we always ask of ourselves? Probably need that thing also. Let's start with the updates to The End. The End now has... See, that's the problem. I usually do that. In the first section of a video, I have like, let's start with this. But of course, when I move it into the final video, we're not starting with that. Right. Now also random flashes, where the dimension gets flooded with a purple light, a sound plays and the flash shows in the sky. There is around 30 seconds of delay between flashes, and each flash lasts between 5 and 9. Okay, so these definitely need a re-record. Do I have them on the board? Yes. Find so much happiness in a Sony... Well, it's a Magix Vegas Pro 22 timeline. Sony sold the whole program at like version 16 or something. And then we're grabbing 34A. Which is not in my recently opened list. 34A. The End. flashing of the light from them is now controlled. I think I probably need this. Although I'm guessing it's these channels. It's between 5 and 19 seconds. The flashing of the light from them is now controlled by... my intent here is to try to cut the now. That seems like a stretch. Is now controlled... is now controlled by... There's no way that works. The flashing of the light from them is controlled by the same accessibility op... Okay, never mind. It actually works. 19 seconds. The flashing of the light from them is controlled by the same accessibility option as the lightning flashes, which is now called hide sky flashes. The texture itself is still visible regardless of the setting, much like the lightning strikes are. Okay. That was somehow magic. What do you think of the thing where anything Mojang posts on the Minecraft channel and people try to connect it to the end update if you know? It's just a meme, right? It's funny in some ways. It's annoying in other ways. I think the most annoying thing for me about it is I never know like if people are posting that. When people are discussing memes like that, who is like in on the joke and who is just kind of being confused. Surely there's a lot of people in on the joke, but then there's also a bunch of people who are going to come there and go like, what do you mean end up? No, that's a stupid reason. Like, what? Eventually, though. No, there's no D. Okay, it doesn't work. It's the end update. This one is probably okay. The other three need re-recording. What about this? The title card. I feel like this doesn't look that way anymore. Actually, I don't know if this looks the same. There's a bunch of bug fixes to this. We probably should re-record everything here. Maybe not this one, but okay. The end title card. And that would be 33A. The end title card. Okay, thank you, Astro, for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome in. And then there was something from 34A. This is the only thing from 34A. Okay, so maybe we don't actually care. We'll leave that one. Okay, so this one is also blue. And then these two stay. I think this is fine. Mute that. Render this. Excuse the lag again. There's a lot of things I'm trying to avoid working on because I have no idea if there's going to be an update that makes it way easier like in a month. Like customizable villager trades. Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky thing, right? We want to kind of basically make everything customizable and data driven and stuff. So, you know, I can't tell you the order, but we're working on all of it. You know, it's just can't promise anything. Okay, this. Back to here. Also the end in here. Oh, the end, not spawn chunks, because I'd forgotten a section. And then pull this out by 30 frames. Copy these. Paste them here. I love how this, because it's all recordings, different voice recordings, the main project file just ends up being like consisting of voice 1, voice 1, voice 1, voice 1, voice 1, voice 1, voice 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Now, spawn chunks. And I completely misspelled that off screen. Spawn chunks. Don't know if I spelled that right now. I did. Okay. Give us spawn chunks. Delete everything. Unmute that. The voice 1 trilogy. Are you glad it's the weekend? Sure, yes. I was quite glad it was kind of Friday. The weekend started. We also played a round of Jet Lag, the home game, on Friday. That was real fun. Must be something more modern to work so hard and working around a problem. Only see it being data driven on eventual Wednesday. What's Tuesdays now? Hi, Shorty. I mean, yeah. We quite frequently have those reactions when we release something and somebody goes like, "No, I just made a mod for that." Where am I going? I am sort of losing focus here a little bit. 31A. My battery's low. I'm gonna hop on my alt. Why don't you have the same account login for second like device? Not gonna judge, but ooh, rule chunks that load in before. Do we not have a spawn chunks title card? We might not have a spawn chunks title card here. Spawning? No, that's not it. These spawn chunks? No. We don't have a spawn chunks title card. We will use it exactly once, but I do need it. I guess I should mark these as 7 seconds also. Okay. Other gameplay changes in this version. The spawn chunks have been entirely removed, and with them chunks the player is about to. Okay. So we need from here to here. Welcome back. Or welcome to alternative view. Okay, so this needs to be replaced with a different title card. I don't necessarily need to show the game roll thing. We can probably just cut this. And this is all B-roll. We'll just extend that a little bit. Should be okay. Community seems so nice. I will definitely come back often. I love this community. And I think like we put a lot of work into making sure that we have rules and like everybody kind of knows what it's about. This makes a lot. Like if you start accepting people being assholes to others, then community goes downhill. You just have to not accept that. I work with Purper, and I'm basically in charge of moving any of our features that can be moved to databags over to databags. Oh, that's cool. The number of features we moved off of the main server software is around 48. Nice. The spawn chunks have been entirely removed, and with them, the spawn chunk radius game rule. Chunks that load in before the player joins still includes anything loaded by the force load command, and the portal loaded chunks, ender pearl chunks, and a small area around the player. When the world is first created, enough chunks to assign the world spawn position are also loaded. This also affects the loading screen, which now shows the chunks the player is about to load into, rather than the chunks around spawn. Okay, so this is showing, well, one thing is I need the other version numbers. But even then, this is showing the old panorama. I probably need to re-record the right half of the screen. Where did I get this? 31A? On the gameplay? Spawn chunks. Uh-oh. And unload. Okay, did I put it under UI? Uh-oh. Loading screen now has progress. Create world. Okay, yeah, this is the one. This is interesting. This is actually a loading screen. Or like a title thing. We could potentially just re-record that then. Do that. I guess it's a good opportunity to show you all how this stuff works. So I can go back out here. So one thing this mod does is it lets us access commands in the title menu. I don't know why, but when I search up your name with sliced first, the second result is sliced beef recipe. See you, Jim. Okay, so basically we could do, what was it called? Set up time create world loading screen. Am I connected? Yes. We play that. What I need, so this will, I need to, because I only have one OBS, it will record what is being streamed. And so we'll be switching for a little moment to a scene that doesn't have music in the chat overlay and stuff. So excuse me while I'm gone for this recording. Okay, slight problem. I'm already recording this because I'm recording the stream. So I'm going to stop that recording and do that again. Because, oh, all the clicking I did there, by the way, was fully pre-recorded input. So I was just holding nothing. But also didn't work because it was already recording, and my clip, if you will, is now 1 hour and 50 minutes. This is another one of those broken features from 1.3. What? Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't particularly have much for those. Like those wiki pages they tend to just be like, they changed the game. Now there's a missing feature. And I was like, no, get out of here. Where did that go though? Oh, I didn't set the name of, set this to like the fact that we're recording for 1.21.9 now instead of 1.21 pre-release. So it ended up in a different folder somewhere. Change that and then go find this file. Pre-1, I think it ended up in. Or by new, maybe? Yeah. There you are. Let's see in there. Okay. I should now be able to go back here and just replace that. Nice. So I have a bunch of automation in Vegas as well that can go through a bunch of stuff. Right, you can do a bunch of the stuff I like. If I have a file like this, I very often want to just add the next side. So I have automation for that. Or just setting up this to be on the left half of the screen instead of all over the screen and stuff. All right, so that's done. Was that all? Yes. Is this recording mod self-made from one in your team or from another person outside of the slicedlime cosmos? It's mine. I made it. And then Black Score is helping out on the code as well, but it's initially just mine. Oh my god. Go to bed. You're not supposed to be awake watching streams at 4 a.m. The spawn chunks have been entirely removed, and with them, the spawn chunk... Right, so the only thing remaining here is the actual title card. But because the title card is not done, we are not done. Looks really helpful. Yeah, well, I mean, it's tailor-made specifically to improve our workflow. I guess I think the new world for our in-world view looks like this. This is the world I just made, and I guess now I can, let's switch this to peaceful and then pull hostile mobs up. Now we get to listen to oh, it's leaves breaking. I guess these trees sometimes generate with leaves that aren't supported. Yeah, from the start it only did splines. That's why it's called cam splines. And then we realized that, like, I spend a lot of time locating the start of the spline and trying to line up the two clips. And so we realized that we can, like, connect it to OBS to trigger recording and not. And then we added so that we used to do a bunch of stuff in command blocks in the world to trigger events and stuff. And then we added the ability to just write commands directly into splines, and then it was so useful that we decided that even if you don't want a spline, you want to use the same functionality, and like there's a ton of stuff in there now. There are basically no clips in my videos that are not recorded from the mod. Almost everything is automated.
Yay.
Alka, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Probably going to return later. I hope not. I hope you get some sleep. Alright, well, we are going to render this anyway. Should be reasonably quick. And like, we continuously have new ideas on how to improve the thing. We have to keep the command blocks out of view. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. We had major problems trying to get some of the kind of coordination to work at some point before the mod was this good. And honestly, if I hadn't made the mod this way, I don't think I would be making the videos. Like, either I would have just given up because it would just start taking so long time, or the quality would just still be much worse. All right, spawn checks. Take this, pull you here. That's 27 frames. This is not aligned. Oh, well, that's not good, actually. I don't like that. We're going to back out of this and re-render that, because now I accidentally had the VO line like a sub frame too far, which is going to create, like, I think one extra frame in the video, which is going to like desync everything by one frame in the other file. It's worth re-implementing. We have 44 open ideas to be implemented in the mod. Nice. And a whole lot of bug fixes as well, right? Or did you count those in? I think we have more if you count the bug fixes. But yeah, we continuously just get more and more ideas about, like, well, this is kind of tedious. It would be nice to automate this. 27 bucks. Okay, so now let's try 27 frames, I think I said. Put that in there. That green box that was there is an artifact of graphics card being overloaded, because streaming and doing this at once is not great. 71 things to do. Strikes are: the spawn chunks have been entirely removed, and with them the spawn. Okay, so that works. Let's go back here, and this is also blue. The only thing left on this is the title card re-recording, but it's still not done. Oof. It's the ultimate Minecraft snapshot maker mod for slicedlime. Kinda. I mean, it's not, because there's still more. I can make it better. Okay, well, 2 hours in, I'm getting quite tired, but hopefully we can do like 1 more hour or something. You must... sure. Hub Ultimate. Alright, gameplay is the next thing. Now it's probably going to start getting more interesting, because these have generally been like a topic that was like introduced in one snapshot, maybe iterated on in the next and stuff. But gameplay fixes are going to be like all over the place. They're going to be from all kinds of snapshots. So that might get interesting. I suppose we can keep this title card, because it is the gameplay title card. Did I save that properly before I did that? Let's say that I did. All right, so I mean, let's go back here. It's just nicer. All right, so we need a couple of things from 31A, a couple of things from 32A, a couple of things from 33A, a couple of things from the pre-release, and then one thing from 34A, one thing from 37A. So just basically something from anything. The connection between Miro and the mod would be fun. Yes, it would. So all of these little notes, like the labels and stuff on these, They're all set by the mod. The fact that this has like commands and file name in here is all the mod doing stuff. That was one of the big improvements in workflow. Anyway, this is going to be annoying. We need to go to 31A first, I think. 31A. Talking about bugs. This is not all bugs. I guess that's fine, because we start talking about bugs. I suppose you could call this a bug. Maybe it is all bugs. It's fine. It's fine. 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 So there are actually two integrations with the mirror board. One is from the mod, and the other is from my bot, which is tracking changes like on the bug tracker. And so as soon as something gets close that's fixed towards a future update, the bot detects it, posts a message into a Discord channel, and then also creates a card automatically. Oh, there's gameplay. And this would be direct from here, I guess, because... Ender pearls now properly load chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. What does this seem to be here? Let's move on to some other gameplay changes in this version. The spawn chunks have been... Oh. Some gameplay bugs have also been fixed. Ender pearls now properly load the chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. Mounted players and mobs no longer... Sure. There's 3 video channels. So that would be here. There's 4 video channels. I can't count. Somebody do an exclamation point job in Twitch for the fine person, please. Maybe we just don't have imagery for this. Because this is going to be really annoying, I think. I think it's fake news is one word, if that's the one. But... Some gameplay bugs have also been fixed. Ender pearls now properly load the chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. That would work. And that's followed by something from 32A. Probably try to grab this cauldron thing while we have the file open. So this is going somewhere later. We'll just stuff that there. And then from 32A... I don't do anything official on this channel. Was something Ender pearls? This one. Yeah. And that's why I care about how many video channels it is. When a player logs in. Chunks loaded by Ender pearls. Is that the right one? Yes. Okay. I guess we use more of this now. Ender pearls now properly load the chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. Chunks loaded by ender pearls. Now properly keep loading those chunks when you die with the ender pearls vanish on death. Game rule set to off. Actually, I would rather have more of the end part of that. If anything. Wait with those, okay. And then there's a dragon egg thing from the same video, which goes after the next 31A thing. This? Yes. So that goes here. Oh, cool. Well, that will be a later thing to deal with. Then we're going to 33A. And we're getting ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave the ender for the first time, and shift clicking with a water bucket. Okay. Wait. Wait. Where do I have the... Oh, this is UI. I see. A lot of spectator mode stuff. This is what I wanted. Well, this is one of the things I wanted. This is the second thing I wanted, which is before the other one. Okay. Great. Undo, please. This goes to kind of here somewhere. But what's the other one? Number of fixes involving spectator mode. No. Is it outside? It's not mobs. Maybe blocks and items? No. Related to the end? No, it wouldn't be. Ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. Also, last thing. An ender pearl fix in this version. Oh, that's awkward. That's going to be really hard to fit in. It's going to be extremely hard to fit in. Wait. Oh yeah, this is only 32. Okay. I guess it's fine to not show the start of this whole sequence. There's not much. Like, there's just barely any time to see the end of it, so I can't remove that. We'll do this. Roll set to off. Ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. Okay. And then from the pre-release, here. Ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. And the portals now negate fall damage. Okay. And then shift clicking with a water bucket thing. Is this stuff? No, why? Why are you like this? This is one of my least favorite things about Vegas. Sometimes it just thinks that some clip is like aligned to a subframe part, which means that if you pull them together, it goes like, they're overlapping now. I'm gonna do like replace all the fades and stuff with a crossfade. And it messes up everything. Now negate fall damage. Shift-clicking with a water bucket against a water-lockable block will now place the water next to the block instead of inside of it. Touching the bottom of a cauldron... Is that the next thing? Yes. And then Dragon Egg, and then another pre-release thing. Can I move these without it messing up? Nice. Not that one. Why are you like this, Vegas? That sounds like it's going to be too short on VO time. We could move everything here. And the portals now negate fall damage. Shift-clicking with a water bucket against a water-lockable block will now place the water next to the block instead of inside of it. Touching the bottom of a cauldron no longer counts as touching the fluid inside the cauldron. And dragon eggs can no longer teleport themselves outside of the height of the world and disappear. Cool. And then... acceleration power of fireballs and wind charges thing. From pre-1. Which is this thing. Excuse me, I had to mute to sneeze there. Right, no. Oh, what? Whoa, why are these all misaligned? Interesting. Okay, everything is wrong. Please do the thing. Thank you. And then we'll just take one of these. Why are you misaligned? It's so weird. Okay. The acceleration power of fireballs and wind charges is no longer halved when... Well, that's not entirely great. There's a slight issue there, let's just say. Do that. I'm going to save this as well so I have it. Above, below. Okay. And then 34A, projectile thing, 37A. Do I have that? Do. Can't play. This thing. What is it doing? Why is it misaligning everything? Like, it's fine. Although the timing here is very short. By an explosion. Projectiles that get redirected by a player. Maybe that's fine. The acceleration power of fireballs and wind charges is no longer halved when they get redirected by an explosion. Projectiles that get redirected by a player-triggered explosion now also count as damage done by that player. And projectiles no longer sometimes lose their ownership when the player that shot them disconnects from a multiplayer server. Yeah. I mean, really the thing I want to include is this, but we have no footage from it because it's so abstract, so I guess we take all of that. We're coming up on another ad break here, folks, on the Twitch side. Again, I'm sorry I can't really control it. The best thing I can do is offer you, if you sub to the channel, you skip all ads. I would love if I didn't have to have them, but I do. 37A. That one I'm pretty sure I didn't have in the history, so we'll just go open it.
Like this?
Exactly like that. Thank you for the good example. How are you doing, Clover? Thank you so much for 51 months. I'm glad you're like waiting to help me out there with the timing.
Yay.
What is that? Is it the Eric EO1 or is it the Eriso1? I'm not sure how to read that, but thank you anyway for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome in. What am I looking for here? Oh my goodness. Yeah, also like that. That kicks off the hype train. Thank you so much, Black Score, for that gift bomb. The E rice. Okay. That I tried several and I failed at all of them. I have no idea what I'm looking for. This is not it. Not a shelf thing. Must be a player flying. Oh. Was it this thing? Spectator mode 2. Players now stop flying when switching from spectator mode to creative mode if they are near the ground, that is, within 1 block of a collidable block. Flight is not disabled. Look at this. What video software do I use to edit? This is Magix Vegas 22. There's a 23
Who hype
also.
hippie hype hippie hype.
Thank you so much, Shorty, for the sub. And thank you, Oxygen, for the 100 bits. In this keeping the hype train alive. Do I not have enough footage here? I might not have enough footage here, I'm afraid. That is at the very start of the clip. And that is quite close to the end of the clip. Okay. It's interesting. We can maybe shorten it a little bit, but either we need to re-record something here, or we need to this length. That's already super long, though. Can't do that. Crap. Oh, this is extra annoying actually.
Yay.
Because this is we want a re-record of the prior version also. And they are both aspect ratioed, so I can't use the whole screen either. Any hint about the next drop? It's it's probably releasing at some point. Thank you, Pappy Jeps, for the follow.
Yay, more hype.
More hype. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Yay. This is really annoying. Can I reorder this somehow to make that more reasonable? You put it after here. These two kind of belong together, so I don't want to do that. These belong together. This is kind of its own thing. Don't want to take anything of the chunk loader thing because it's already quite tight. I need a re-record here. I probably even need just a brand new setup, I think. So that was from 37. Gameplay. Switching from spectator mode, this thing. Well, I guess strictly speaking, this thing. And we just make a new thing. Select frame. Gameplay. Remove this. Assign. Blank out. And timing is like 13 seconds. I don't think I would have been able to do this for 8 years while working at Mojang if I kept leaking stuff by accident. Like, I don't think that would have been like a thing. Maybe we put all of the new stuff down here. Okay, well, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to this one. This is fine though, I guess. We will just put an empty event here. Didn't mean to have that selected. Like this. And I suppose we align that, and that is kind of the extent of this. Now we have like a ton of these above, below. Well, that's the one I made, I think. So now I'm going to replace all of these with the actual new one, so we get the right version numbers in here. And for some reason this doesn't, you can't select all of them and do it. That would have been nice, but I guess it's an extremely weird use case to want to replace a whole bunch of files with the same file. Can't be very common in video editing. Now they all say the right thing. It's the most annoying mob, according to me, Vexes. Them hitting like a truck and facing through blocks, so they will just come out of the ground and hurt you, is a bad combo. It's not my favorite design. I think for me that might work if you like make them try to avoid the blocks and mostly pathfind normally, but could also like go through one block. Or if they like if they could face through blocks but only a certain distance away from you or something. But yeah, they're always extremely annoying. And annoying in such a way that you feel like they were unfair. Thank you everybody for that level 4 hype train. Choo-choo. The heck is this emote? Never seen that before. Is it a hype train emote or is it just a global emote? Good chill vibes in this song. Want a Vindicator, but not that little ghost. I would agree. I think another problem is they start being summoned and sometimes you're not even aware, because the various illagers can like communicate between each other. So you don't even have to be like actively in combat with an evoker, and then suddenly there's just a Vex that just comes out of the wall and drops you. Okay, we're gonna go back here, switch this back to the thing that's now fallen off of the list. It's the main video. The fact that they don't dive in the evoker dice, you mean? Touch the salt. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that would be one thing, or at least, like, I'm kind of just like, there's no reasonable counter other than kind of don't fight them where in their environment. Like, I think the hell? Oh, it opened 2 windows. The corridors of a woodland mansion are like the worst place to fight something that faces through blocks. So inevitably, if I need to fight them without like taking damage, like for Triple H or something, or just I don't have like a ton of gear, the thing that happens is I kind of burn down the place or open up so I can fight them on the top of the roof. But I feel like if the only way to play is to cheese it, then there's something wrong with the design. 22 frames. Rather than the chunks around spawn. Some gameplay bugs have also been fixed. Ender pearls now that is really tight actually. And the chunks around spawn. Some gameplay bugs have also been fixed. Ender pearls now properly load the chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. Chunks loaded by ender pearls now properly keep loading those chunks when you die with the ender pearls vanish on death game rule set to off. Ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. End portals now negate fall damage. Shift clicking with a water bucket against a water-lockable block will now place the water next to the block. Okay, I think that's good. That means this is also blue. Because we need this new clip. So it's started, but it's not done. Oh my god. Visuals? Do I have a visual section? Oh, I do. I switched a bunch of stuff to visuals. Right, I moved like the block and item stuff because it was kind of the die item stuff. Where's mobs? It's after game rules. Eh? I mean, strictly speaking, I do think the visual stuff is more interesting than game rules, maybe. But it's game rules fits a lot better after gameplay than it does after visuals. Whoa. We might do this. Mobs. Oh, well, that's a problem, I guess. Well, this is about... I don't know. Changed my mind. We'll just go back. Visuals, game rules, mobs. Fine. Favorite game mechanic? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say like one game mechanic. They're also intertwined. If anything, I would have to say like Redstone or something, but that's like a whole system. Hi, Nine. These are now not entirely in sync, but I guess that's fine. Visuals was the next. Cave spiders that have been shrunk to a quarter block size. That sounds, I mean, that sounds quite awful, but if we're talking like non-vanilla things, then say hi to my friend Arlcraft. $37A, $31A, $34A, $33A, 37. Block placing is pretty cool. That's true. Alright, visuals. This snapshot is also full of visual fixes. Falling party. Well, I have this, but I have it later. Okay, we'll take it. What? Loot. Okay, so it's like this. This might be a problem. Well, no, it's not. It's fine. We're good. Because this is the one that's later. And then I need the long light mob thing here. And this I can compress. It's fine. So we need to have this kind of starting here. Get away with a little longer pause. I don't dare try Oilcraft. I'm way too much of a baby. I've been playing it a bit lately. There are plenty of design decisions, and plenty of particular mobs that I'm not entirely a fan of. Let's just say. The ambient lighting on interfaces of entities has been changed to work more like it does for blocks. What are we missing from that? Not much, actually, if we just pull that here. Like, I feel like I don't die in vanilla. Like, I can hold my own in vanilla. And it's also not like I'm not, like, familiar with mods. It's more that I just find a lot of these designs just incredibly poorly made. And a lot of things like Lycanites in particular, where it's just, let's have an incredibly powerful mob that is essentially a Vex on steroids. Spawn 2 centimeters in front of your face. Like, okay. What? How is this fun? And they're like, it's challenging. It's like, it's not. If anything, it's just kind of Twitch reactions. Silk Song? Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of challenging games. Right. But that they are not challenging because they do that. Temperature system and health system. The temperature system is one of my least favorite mobs. It's called Tough as Nails, and I've played with it before in my Forever Stranded series, and it was so bad and so hard to understand that I had to go dig through the source code to understand how it works, and then I made a video explaining it. Okay, just check. I have all those listed here, right? Yes. Die, falling particles, more falling particles, explosions. Okay. Die was 31A. Which is fallen off the list. And I mean, if you want that type of experience, kind of more realistic-like experience, go play Terraformacraft. There's no reason to do the silly things that Oilcraft does. I also enjoy Terraformacraft. I really like it. I don't have time to play it. The different health for different limbs, like, eh. Like, there's nothing in mind. So here, okay. If you're gonna have a combat system that has limb health, you need the ability to target and protect limbs. You need a fighting system that has like combat moves that, you know, you can target somebody's legs or whatever. And then you need like a shielding system where you can put your shield low so you can protect your own legs and whatnot. Oilcraft is just like, here's a monster that comes out of the ground and it hits a random PC. Like, it's a cool idea, I suppose, but like, you have to, you know, there has to be some substance to the combat, and it's not. It's just like a whole bunch of different mods that do different things, and like for some reason somebody expects them to work together. This video does not have a visual section, yet I have something that is going in the visual section. So I clearly took it out of some other section, but I don't know where. The dye items. It's blocks and items then. Yeah. All the dye items now have new text. Realistic mod pack. Where's the taxes? Is that 2? That's 2. Okay. Like, it's of course possible to get good at autocraft, right? But what I'm trying to say is that I don't consider that very, like, it's not a thing that connects to skill in the sense of like you're skilled in combat. It's more a thing that is now connected to like you learning the in and out and just kind of it's the skill of avoiding traps more than it is skill of like fighting stuff. Because like yeah, Silksong or Elden Ring or whatever, like the Souls like games, they introduce you to a combat system and then you master that system and then you figure out interesting ways to use it, right? For boss fights and whatever. But that's not what's happening in these in like autocraft. Falling particles is next. Set while maintaining distinct shapes. Falling particles. One can be good at standing using one finger. Cool. Alright, practical. No. Well, I mean, it's not really that either. Like, it's more like, well, people are saying like autocraft is difficult, and that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not the difficult. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with difficult things. I play hardcore challenges for fun. The problem is I don't find it difficult. I find it unfair, or random. Set while maintaining distinct shapes. Falling particles now once again appear under unstable sand and gravel blocks. And then there's a thing for lava, yes, barrier blocks, 34A. Autocraft apparently renamed / replaced tough as nails with simple difficulty, currently with no usability improvements. Simple difficulty. I felt quite sure the toughest nails was still in there. But possible that I'm wrong. And then gravel blocks, water and shapes. Falling particles now once again appear under unstable sand and gravel blocks. Water and lava no longer drips from barrier blocks. And then explosions from 33A. Is winning lottery difficult? The definition is, I guess, is the definition of terms. Stupid. I muted because I had this like I'm gonna sneeze feeling, but I never actually materialized. That's really annoying. I think it's here. No. Is it under visual? This also has no visuals. I guess it's gameplay? Yeah, this is the one. Oh, why? There you go, please. Oh yeah, like is winning a lottery difficult? I would say no. Like for me, difficulty implies some form of skill element. From barrier blocks. And like it wasn't difficult for whoever randomly lucked into it. Part of me feels like people got this feeling of unfair equals good difficulty from games like Cat Mario. I don't know. I feel like there are fun elements to things that are extremely random also. And I mean, undoubtedly, it's hard to survive in the thing. The lighting on interfaces of entities has been changed. The ambient light... Did I not have an intro for this section? No. The ambient lighting on interfaces of entities has been changed to work more like it does for blocks, which means... Oh god, what have I done here? That's why this was unbalanced. The ambient lighting on interfaces of entities has been changed to work more like it does for blocks, which means that the underside of flat surfaces will now be lit from that direction instead of from above. This mainly has an effect on flat or hollow parts of entities like worn armor, outer player skin layers, skeleton rib cages, chicken and frog feet, ender dragon and phantom wings, fish fins, and so on. All the die items now have new textures. This is to enhance the visual cohesion across the die set while maintaining distinct shapes. Falling particles now once again appear under unstable sand and gravel blocks. Water and lava no longer drips from barrier blocks. And explosions now once again have additional particles, which they haven't had since Minecraft 1.15. Alright, that's it. So I think this is all okay. Nothing of this should need a re-record. So we can finalize this by replacing all these. Yeah, okay, cool. That means that visuals actually becomes green. Oh my god. Another section that is actually done. Alright, we render. This is gonna lag for a bit. So I do think there's some element of difficulty that you could say. I mean, some of my challenges are more like they're difficult to the point of feeling unfair, but knowledge can find the weird ways out, which can be fun. I guess the thing about RLcraft that I don't like is the randomness of high impact things. It's like being good at RLcraft, at least at a very early stage, often implies you know how to minimize the risk rather than, you know, actually mitigate it. Let me show you my PC specs in a second here. Just want to let the thing finish. Oh, I turned all of these off. It's behind the chat. All right. Back to the main video file. Visuals. The thing I don't like about Minecraft Vanilla is the randomness. In some ways. I do find that, like, there are elements of the procedural nature of it that lead to randomness that are ultimately beneficial. 51 frames. Like, there are parts of it that I like, kind of leaning into the randomness of, like, generation and stuff. Like the fact that, you know, sometimes you won't find a desert in 10,000 blocks, like my hardcore world, is kind of made up for by the fact that sometimes you get these really cool interactions of different world gen elements, and you get like super cool places. And the, you know, the more you try to control that, the less to be less random, the more every place is just going to look the same. Why is this? Oh, it is fine. It's just snapping. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Well, that's like, looking at this, that's half the video. But it is much more than half the video because these sections are much longer. So I think that's good. We're up to 13 minutes of video here. Is Vegas 22 notably better than 21? Yes. They've, like, the last few versions have all been big upgrades. They've all been like either really solid like improvements or like in terms of functionality, or they've been great performance upgrades. I'm not using the Steam version now. 23 just came out. I haven't bought it yet. Very likely will. The thing with Vegas is very often, like, the very first version of a major is quite crashy. And given that I need to make both this video and the... Okay, we just leave. But I need to make this and then the tech video also. I don't really want to, like, poke my workflow right now. So I might just wait and buy it after I'm done with these videos. Like the randomness added to arrows, drop, or bartering. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I also do think that it's, you know, part of it. Endurance can be a test that is also challenging in some way. Yeah, sure. It's just random and feels out of your control is no fun. Unfun challenge is still a challenge. Yes. But it's the same thing. Like, is it difficult to win the lotto? Is it difficult to roll 10 sixes in a row on a 6-sided dice? I mean, to some definition, yes, absolutely. It's certainly challenging. But, like, it's not difficult in an interesting way.
Nothing can be more random than my pronunciation and my excitement.
That seems fair. Folks, I'm flagging quite a lot here. I don't know. I definitely do not have energy to like turn through all of these. I think at this point I've probably put 7 hours into this video today. It's 10:53. Yeah, slightly less, maybe 6.5. So I think that's probably enough. We're likely this is tomorrow's stream as well, and a bit more of tomorrow's. Thanks, folks. Appreciate hanging out with you. There's gonna be a lot more work on this video still, but like hopefully by the end of tomorrow we can get to the point where we have the skeleton in all the sections, do a lot of like the re-recording stuff, and then after that it's kind of mostly done. So it's moving forwards. It's always a lot of work, these. Let me go find somewhere to raid on Twitch. Raid. Did this. Still doing the world tour. I mean, that seems like a fun thing. Let's oh my god. Wow, that's a bit lag. Yeah, let's go to Pearl. Thank you so much, folks. I appreciate you all being here. The next stream will be tomorrow. It'll just be a continuation of this, and likely all my streams will be behind the scenes stuff until I'm done with these videos. That's what happens around release time. But yeah, I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you all later. Hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, night, evening, whatever time it is in your time zone. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.